evening, everyone. My name is Chris Cooper, known as the Channel Guy Trader, and I am reporting to you live from Wall Street Trading Satellite Office down in sunny South Florida. Today's date is Monday, October the 22nd, 2012, and here is today's After the Bell Market Summary. First, I want to start off by taking a look to see how the indices closed today here. The Dow Jones closed up 2.38 points, and NASDAQ closed up 11.34. S&P 500 closed up 0.62. And strongest index out of these three was the NASDAQ, closing up 0.38%. Just taking a quick glance across the board here. I mean, the markets faded down for most of the day in a sideways, a choppy manner till some selling pressure started increasing around 12 o'clock. We came in across the board. Just about every index got a bounce around, say, 145, and then 3 o'clock, we made a nice little higher low. And then ever since then, the market ticked up. Now, there was a piece of news article. I'm not sure if you guys read it yet, but there was a piece of a news article saying that the Fed was upping its talks in regards to QE3. All right, and I'll bring up the link here. All right, I'll bring up the link here, and I'll post the link inside the description box below. All right, and it says Fed considers upping QE3 size and language, and this came out at 3 o'clock, and that's when exactly the markets rallied. So I think this had a lot to do with the markets rallying. We also had the debates tonight. So anyway, I'll post this link today. I'll post this link inside the description box below. Let's take a look at the market here, though. SPY closed up pretty much flat here, closed up 2 cents. It did sell off a little bit, though, breaking below Friday's lows, but recovered. You can see here we came right below our little support zone around this 142.58 level. We hit a low today on the SPY of 142.28, and they bought it right back up. If I look at a 15-minute chart here for you guys on the intraday action, even though you can see the intraday action on our midday market update on the YouTube channel, you can see the SPY pretty much sideways, a choppy downward, got a little bounce off this little area, and they bought it back up. Take a look at the daily chart. We're still kind of near this channel, but we're still above this nice support we have around this 142.50. Unless we start holding below 142.50, expect some sideways chop with some buyers maybe trying to buy this bottom range right here. All right, let's take a look at the ES. All right, and taking a look at the ES with my channel analysis on it here, you can see we have some great action here. All right, got a nice little bounce right where we expected to. That's why we were not looking to short this morning, because we were sold off a lot. We were actually looking to buy dips this morning in the chat room. That worked out pretty well. All right, in some names. And you can see here, we're basically at the same thing, guys. Same scenario. They're selling the top, buying the bottom. Selling the top, buying the bottom. Selling it to the top, which we called for a fake breakout. Be careful for that. All right, I talked about that in the weekend video. And again, buying the bottom. Until this pattern changes, until we break above this top of this range and hold, and then take out obviously these highs right here, or until we break below this bottom range and obviously take out these lows from over here, then you gotta just keep on playing the range. All right, it's a range-bound market, but it's at a slight angle. So why it may not look like it's in a range, because if you draw a horizontal level, you see the little wicks wicking down here below. It's actually in a range, guys, and you can see that in my channels here. All right, so I'm expecting to move in the ES, maybe up tomorrow, maybe back test this little area right here. So if we do look like we're going strong tomorrow, I'll be looking for a move in the ES up towards this 1437 level. If we move back down off of today's move up, expect to move back down towards the 1423, 1420 area. It's going to get pretty volatile, as we already see that volatility is picking up. And speaking of volatility, let's go and take a look at the VIX chart to see what happened here today. And you can see they sold the volatility, and this is what we have to expect. Yeah, they did bring it higher, but every time we have a big expansion in volatility, we usually have another down day, because we still have those people that are trying to buy the dips, and that that believe that we're going high. So this is an opportunity for them to collect some premium and sell some vol. So that's what they did today. Let's take a look at the NASDAQ triple Qs. All right, you can see the NASDAQ triple Qs holding this little support area that I have highlighted, along with holding this little key trend line. You can see we broke below the trend line, but we're back above it. The Qs, as long as they could hold above the 65.43 a little bit and stabilize down here, I think we could get a nice little move right back up. So I'm watching the 65.40 area, the 65 level on the Qs. Right now, you can see we had a nice little bounce off that area today. Take a look at the IWM. On the IWM, I adjusted some of the trend lines to fix the channels a little bit better here. And you can see IWM, same thing. downward channel that's in play, kind of like it was right here. Is this thing going to break out and move to the top side like this one did right here? We'll wait and see. But we do have a actionable pattern that we could work off of here. If you add the moving averages, it's below the 50-day moving average, but it's still hanging above the 200. So we'll see. If this thing gets above 82, I'll be more convinced that we have at least a chance to go back up towards this 83 level. But if we just hold below 82, below this little band right here, I would think that we're going to try to just drift sideways to lower. On the IWM, take a look at the USO. Crude oil continues to remain weak. USO down 44 cents. All right, we talked about the fact that this USO really until it gets back above this prior support, which is now resistance over here, so above $35 a barrel, which I believe is 94, which I believe on the crude oil contract is 94. All right, and then on the USO, it's the $35 price on this ETF here. All right, and you can see that if we break below 32.51, USO, next level USO is going down to is 31.50. We break below 31.50, we have this nice little gap in this little area right here between 30.50 and 30. Nice little 50 cent. That could be the next target if this oil continues to drive lower. Then we'll definitely be looking for some long opportunities down there. But that happens. Expect some of these energy stocks to get weak. And of course, there's a lot of energy stocks in the S&P 500, so that could be something that could weigh the S&P 500 down going forward. All right, and that's going to be something that I'll be taking a look out for. All right, that's USO. Let's take a look at GLD, gold. All right, taking a look at gold, you can see here that it pulled back, held the 50-day simple moving average today so far. And if this thing just continues to hold the 50, then this could definitely be a buying opportunity. If I bring over here the weekly and monthly chart real quick just to show you something. All right, it kind of makes sense that they sold it down up in this area because we are at a little resistance band on the monthly. On the weekly, you can see we have this nice little downward channel breakout. So we are looking for a Bible pullback in gold. All right, as you guys know, this is our bread and butter, one of our bread and butter plays, excuse me. This is one of our bread and butter plays here where we have a nice little downward trend line, a little breakout, and we got to look for that lower, we look for that little higher low pivot that comes somewhere around this area when it breaks out, and if we usually pull back, we look for it to at least hold the low of the initial candle, which will be down here at 160. So if we pull back some more, all right, and we get an official back test, as long as we hold this 160 area, which I mean we're obviously $7 away from that, that will still be a good buying opportunity. So gold may want to fade back a little bit, but then again, if the aggressive bidders come in the market here, we could start bidding up at some higher prices instead of going all the way back down. So that's something that I'm watching for on the gold, on the GLD. Silver. All right, silver is trying to get back above the 50-day simple moving average. It's got a little small bounce today, still in a little downtrend. Even though I'm seeing a lot of the silver stocks holding up pretty well. Take a look at SLW. SLW trading in a nice range. This one looks like an actionable trade over $41. So I'm actually going to put an alert here at $40.91. You can take a look at CDE. CDE looks pretty good as well. All right, this one looks like an actionable trade over $30.85 or so. Even over last week's highs, looks pretty good. Which last week's highs is up here around $30.60. Then take a look at PAAS. Pan American Silver. All right, this one's trading sideways as well. Usually, after an up move, all right, sideways consolidation. This is usually indicative of a move higher. So keep an eye on these little silver mining stocks. Keep an eye on SLV, and we're going to be watching these precious metals going forward this week as some of them are pulling back, and this could be a Bible pullback. We'll have to wait and see. What's the catalyst for that going to be? It's going to be the U.S. dollars. Take a look at the U.S. dollars, and that news that came out today. All right, could be showing us that the U.S. dollar is going to continue going lower if they're looking to consider upping the QE3 size and the language. That could definitely cause some weakness in the dollar. Weakness in the dollar usually means buying pressure in the markets. And take a look at this pattern. I want to wait and see if this is going to be a nice little head and shoulders pattern that is developing here on the dollar. And you should be able to see what I'm talking about. Let me drag this over right here. You can see you have kind of like your little right shoulder area right here, your little head, your little left shoulder, your head and your right shoulder that could be forming. 79 being the neckline. So definitely going forward in the near term, I'm going to be watching the 79 level on the dollar futures chart. And right now, again, like I talked about in the video, we're just in a range between 78.93 and 80.24. So this continues to chop around here. We can expect some volatility to start picking up in the markets until this thing starts trending again. All right, so well, at least trending down again. If it trends up, volatility is going to pick up, and the market's going to most likely sell off for the strength of the dollar. All right, like it's been doing. So take a look at the Euro USD, Euro dollar. Euro dollar did get a nice little viable pullback towards the top of the channel that we're watching from my channel analysis here. It's a little range, right? As long as we hold up that little consolidation range a bit, I'm probably going to be expecting the euro to come back up here towards the highs, which means that we could at least get a bounce on these markets down here and see if it lines up with the market bounce and the euro bounce back up towards these highs. We'll see how that plays out. Need some more clues on that right there. Let's take a look at the Dow Jones. Dow Jones futures, just because we're watching this one right here, you can see the Dow Jones held at 13,250 level pretty good. All right, and as long as we continue to hold above that 13,250 level, which was prior resistance, now support, now support, now support, now support. If we continue to hold above that level there, all right, from this consolidation range that we had back here, then we can be expecting to move back in the Dow Jones up towards the top of the range, and this could be just performing a range-bound action right now. All right, we had some news. We had some earnings out today. FCX was one of the weaker ones out there, even though it held its 40 level. We did have this on watch in the chat room, calling 40 as a support level to watch. It traded pretty clean intraday. You could also, Caterpillar had some earnings out this morning. This was one trade that we took in the chat room, called out Caterpillar for a long, holding above the 82.50 level, 82.60 level, and we tweeted that out on our Facebook and on our Twitter account. If you're not following us on Twitter if you're not following us on Twitter, you can follow us at Wall Street Trade, WALLST Trade, and on Stock Twits at My Wall Street TV. All right, and obviously you can check out our YouTube videos and check out our website, wallstreettrading.com. So anyway, back to Caterpillar. Caterpillar was, gave lower guidance back here, about 4 weeks ago or so, and they sold it off. It's been going down ever since. Tried to bounce up, going down ever since. Earnings came out. They missed on earnings. All right, they guided lower, a little bit lower. They missed on revenues, and the thing is that it was already down a lot. All right, and at the same time, it was already coming from say 94 to 82, so it's already down $12. And also, I mean, this is a stock that if you're not short from up here, then why would you be looking to short it down here when it's at support? So obviously, it was a buy holding above 82. We called that out in our chat room. We got our traders long right when it took out the highs, and this was a perfect pattern for a move once it took out 83. And if you bring up the pre-market information on here, you can see how it was trying to hold on to that 82.60 area. So that was a level that we were watching as a above and below method. Holding above 82.60, we're looking for long opportunities, and holding below, we're looking for short opportunities. Obviously, you can see here they got some shorts stuck in below 82.60. All right, and then once it went over 83, once it went over this little level right here from this little range, it was basically a goner. Trapped some shorts, and it was off to the races. Nice trade we called out there. We were looking at the 82.50 weekly calls. Those worked out pretty well. So that's Caterpillar. BTU, another stock, had good earnings. Holding above the 20 level was bullish because it was a 200-day moving average, broke out. This caused for a lot of buying pressure in some of those coal stocks, and that looks pretty well. Let's see if that one could continue going higher. Next target on this one's 32. One of the stocks that we were talking about today all over the Twitter stream was AGU. All right, picked up the AGU 110 strike calls. If you take a look at the volume here, this thing had 12,471 calls traded. All right, and if you look at the put side, so I'm gonna drag over here for you guys, we had 1,600 puts go off here, 601. All right, so anyway, this is just about a 12 to 1, buying, ratio here in favor of the, call buyers over put buyers, or put volume, I should say here. All right, call volume versus put volume. The 12 to 1 ratio on the volume of puts versus calls. So that's pretty bullish. You can see the stock broke out, nice volume. They came out with some news saying that they're now paying $2 annual dividend. All right, and not only are they paying $2 an annual dividend, but they make it semi-annual with quarterly payments. So that works out pretty well for those shareholders, and it looks like people are looking to get involved in that one. The daily chart looks pretty good, as you can see here. It's one of the stronger stocks in the sector as well. Take a look at the weekly chart. Weekly chart's breaking out. Take a look at the monthly chart, and the monthly chart is making its way back up towards, all-time highs up here. All right, towards 114.06. Most resistance is going to come in here right around the 108 area. If it can hold above 108, and next target's 1010. If it can hold above 108.67, next target's 110. Then we have 114. I'm along the November 110 strike calls, and we traded it to the long side in the room this morning. All right, as we were looking for buying opportunities on all the dips into this 106 level, that worked out pretty well. And I was yelling this out all over the Twitter stream. So if you're not following me on Twitter, you can follow me at AskChrisHeTrade, AskChris H is in hero, E is in Edwin, trade. All right, that's basically trades without the S. So ask Chris, he trade. All right, so that's about it, guys. Hope you guys had a great trading day. I'll follow up with everybody in the morning tomorrow with some ideas. If you haven't been to our chat room yet, go to wallstreettrading.com. Fill out the form on the upper right-hand side for a 14-day free trial to the chat room. It is free right now, but you want to make sure you fill out that form to get access to it so you can get the password and everything. And go from there. Hope you guys had a great day, and catch you guys tomorrow morning. Thank you.